What's going on, guys? This is Evan, the Xenogears enthusiast. I'll be bringing you a gameplay commentary for my Playing the Objective video series. This will be the last video I do, sort of talking about the gameplay for a little bit. My next videos are probably going to be me ranting about things that bother me about Black Ops, or because of my mood and grooves about this game, I will instead talk about things that are just on my mind. I see a lot of the other big commentators do it, and people seem to like it. A much smaller subscriber base, and I don't know what you guys are necessarily watching this for, if you're watching for some laughs or what, but that's what you should expect. So on the start of Kowloon on Domination, if you're starting on this side, which I guess is the C side, I believe, yeah. If you're starting on C, you should probably rush over on this side. There's probably a guy in the window. There's probably people in this building, period. If you're going to be moving around a lot on Domination, you need to have Hacker, because there's just going to be a lot of claymores and motion sensors scattered about. You don't want to become food for those players to feed their kill streaks, and they can easily defend their flags if you're in the way of their motion tracker. You know, the motion tracker just gives them a tremendous advantage, so that's bad. Whereas if you have Hacker, the motion tracker actually becomes a liability for them because they crunch on it a little too much. It's difficult to use the motion tracker and not crunch on it, because it's... Once you place it, you pretty much have to trust it, because you can't possibly watch all the points, and if you're trying to really guard a specific area, it's pretty much mandatory to just trust your equipment. The Claymore's a little more trustworthy in that you at least get the notification that's been destroyed, but the motion tracker's a more powerful piece of equipment and it's reusable, so most people stick to that. I personally stick to that. If you've captured 2 flags at this point, and you have control of the big building that you presumably rush when you went left at the start, you should try your best to hold that building for a little bit. As long as you have 2 flags, it gives you a nice place to route enemies heading that way, and you can play sort of the camper role for a while. As long as you have 2 flags, there's nothing wrong with playing that role, and you're sort of spawn trapping, but not really, because you're not actually targeting their spawns, you're just kind of holding that area. You do face into the A spawn, so that's pretty viable. I wouldn't push into the spawn if you're trying to camp trap them. If you're trying to go for a triple cap, then you should have just proceeded onward towards A. That's a viable strategy in most Domination games, is to go for the flag they took first, because that's the one they're least expecting to see you at typically. And there'll probably be a couple stragglers there guarding, but if you can just overwhelm them, you can get like a quick, easy cap. Right now, my buddy Sorokin and I are trying to push towards the A flag. It's extremely difficult to capture flags by yourself. If you're playing Domination and you're actually concerned about playing the objective, I actually recommend using your headset. I mean, using your headsets, period, is wise. But even if you don't have a nice one, just having communication with your teammates and being polite and asking them to do things helps out. So I take the high ground here and I start to push around the outer crust. This is a great way to get to this flag, is to go on the high ground, because you want to clear the people off it up there, because it's such a strong strategic position for like an M16 or a G11 or a sniper rifle. So you want to clear it anyway, and then it helps you pick off the usual box camper there that prevents people from pushing down into A. I'm having a hard time making my shots because I'm still using this AUG with an ACOG, which isn't bad. I mean, it's actually very powerful, and it's still good. I like the weapon, but it's probably just not as good as like a Reflex or a Red Dot or Irons with the almighty dual mag, or the Suppressor if you hate showing up on the radar. Suppressor is a pretty viable choice if you want to push flags. I don't like it because I actually like to bring people to me. I like a little action. I'm getting a little tired of Black Ops, and I guess if I was trying to try hard all the time, I'd probably use the FAMAS or the Commando or something I just know is very powerful. Pick up this dude's MPL. MPL is great, by the way. Digress here. If you haven't used the MPL, definitely give it a shot. I actually prefer it to most of the submachine guns. The AK-7 is still stronger, but the MPL the MPL is the coolest little iron. So if you run with like sleight of hand, because it's actually better scoped than from the hip, so don't steady aim, but actually sleight of hand it, and you can get some really cool shots on people that are camping and in windows and stuff that typically have the advantage over the SMGs. So we push up here to this flag and try to cap it. It's hard to give a very specific strategy for Domination, because your actions need to change depending on what's happening. You need to evaluate your score lead. If you're significantly behind, like 75 points plus, it's time to triple cap if you can, because it's unlikely you're gonna go through the game and not lose a flag at some point. The B flag on this map is the hardest to capture. On almost all the Domination maps, the B flag is always your weakest to hold, or hardest to hold rather, but it's also the most important. to hold it. So if you can get the B flag and another flag, you know, that's ideal. Triple cap's what I like to do. Whatever. This is all common sense. Sorry if I don't sound as, I guess, as energetic as usual. I'm just really tired, guys. But I wanted to go ahead and put this out because, you know, there's definitely a different side to every personality, and yeah, this is sort of my more subdued, quiet side, I guess. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing this whole thing, but where that guy's laying prone there in that back corner, that's not that bad of a place if you're trying to solo cap it. I mean, solo capping's typically going to get you killed anyway, because people like me will hear the flag getting capped and they'll run hardcore straight at you, like I did to him. But because he's laying there prone, I didn't expect it. I got destroyed, and that's probably the best strategic position, especially if you're like a flak jacket or ghost, both of which are a camper's dream. Back in that little hallway, people like to try to stand back there and defend B. Generally unwise. Just like staying up here on these stairs trying to use this as like an overlook is pretty bad in domination. It's much more popular strategy in like sabotage, where I actually kind of recommend it. So I'm just kind of poking around this flag. I know they're trying to push on B. This is just obvious. You know, you read their movements and you see that they're spawning and moving up towards B because of the UAVs. Oh, and then quickly, another reason to use Hacker is C4. I had so many deaths earlier tonight because I was using Marathon. I just kept getting C4'd. So, you know, just definitely consider Hacker over other things. Now I'm going to call my care packages here. This is a really bad spot to call them, actually. Oh, about care packages. Some guy stole my chopper gunner tonight. I had like 6 bad games in a row. Some horrible number. I got a spy plane. I got a chopper gunner out of a care package. It was like, you know, thank God. Finally a little luck, and then some guy came up and jacked it. And I got my 900 experience and all, but probably could have got more points just shooting people. I would have more fun just shooting people. So I was really mad at the guy. I sent him some really angry message. I haven't been that angry in a long time. So if that guy watches this, which I know he doesn't, but if he does, I do apologize. That was not appropriate the way I snapped on you. But, guy, you shouldn't be just jacking people's care packages, you know? People try to give away ammo and no one will take it to get their hardline pro, but when someone drops a chopper gunner, everyone kind of swarms it like zombies. Oh, and by the way, I'm watching that Living Dead, I think, something or other AMC movie videos, and, man, it's pretty well done. I like it. Oh man, I'm getting so far off the gameplay, which I sort of committed to talking about. So I'm gonna get back on that as much as I can. You know, we're clearly trying to go. I'm trying to go for the triple cap. I'm trying to. You know, it's at the end of these games I don't like. A lot of people say like, "Well, you didn't cap that much." I'm like, well, yeah, but you know, I tried to cap. The point was, I'm constantly trying to cap. Someone said, you know, you still camp a little bit. I'm like, yeah, I do, but getting my kill streaks helps me push towards into flags. Plus, there's just really nothing wrong with camping and routing some people, especially on jungle. I want to get you guys I know some pretty ballin' jungle strategies, and they're real easy to do, too. They're real cheesy, but that's an easy domination game if you can pull it off. And fair when you guys play domination, if you notice you're just getting stomped over and over, mute the entire enemy team and see if they're all partied. I know a lot of my friends who are still like first, second prestige haven't figured out that people play domination in groups of 3 typically, 2 or 3 or full parties, you know. People usually aren't playing it alone. Now, I play alone with my friends, but most people don't. I play with like 1 person or by myself, or biggest party I've ever had in domination was 4, and that happened once. That's the biggest party I've ever had. I must be unpopular or something. I just like to play alone. I've actually had some cool clan invites, but I just keep turning them down because I'm such a misanthrope, I guess. People like to go up here on this little thing, so always watch it. That thing I just fired out into, that little upraised platform with the smokestack or whatever. Don't even go up there. It's a stupid, unless it's like search and destroy and you're trying to get the jump on somebody. But search and destroy is a whole other game mode entirely, so strategies that aren't viable anywhere else are viable in search and destroy. Get that cap there. I probably don't deserve that cap. I was trying to move towards it, but I didn't really work for it. But, you know, cap it anyway from my experience. I'm not going to apologize. I really want a triple cap over here at A, so I keep pushing towards it, but I just can't get it. I think on this map the triple cap's actually very viable because all the flags are, you know, takeable. I mean, B is always the biggest fest, like the biggest just get crapped on deaths. But because none of the 3 flags are so impossible to defend or take, you know, getting a triple cap is very viable. I'm trying not to play Defender this game, and Defender kind of goes along with the camping class. If they're camping, they're probably camping in the high traffic area, which is the flags, which is fine. That center building there is a very strategic point. I think it's hard to hold, and I never try to hold it. I just get killed when I do. Even if I'm playing well, it just doesn't work out. But if you can hold it, it's an excellent place to sort of hold up. And sentry guns are great in Domination. Sentry guns are great, period. Run that sentry gun, it's cool. I lose a lot of them tonight. I lost a lot of them tonight at Ghost Pro. If you guys could also, you know, I ask every video now, but if you guys could, like, rate and comment and, you know, subscribe if you like what you see. Don't subscribe out of pity. But if you could do this, it means so much to me. Oh, God. Okay. A little dramatic there, just for effect. It means so much to me. Anyway. Once you keep trying to triple cap, you know. A good strategy is when you start losing a flag, just take another flag. That's kind of what my buddy and I were trying to do this night. Is just, well, we're about to lose a flag, so let's just go cap something. If you can take out, if you're a good enough player to take out like maybe 2 or 3 people on your own, that's when you should be running around taking flags. Let's talk a little bit about role assignment. I mentioned in my first part of the series, you know, the kind of players you are. If you aren't really a strong enough player to win, you know, 2 out of your 3 gunfights, you should probably just be defending flags rather than trying to cap them. And cap them when it's just an obvious cap. So that's the end of the gameplay. It's sort of unfocused. I'm still trying to wrap up how I want to do these or talk about these. This is embarrassing being on the final kill cam on my own video. With my care package, I was hoping that would fall on them because it'd be sweet as a final kill cam. But of course, it never happens. So final scores there on the board, respectable. Next game I'll try to talk a little bit more about how to play Domination beyond a spawn trap or beyond just mass capping. Alright, thanks guys.